All right. Gee whiz. Let's see if is this thing working? Hello? Hello? Is it just me? Hi there, folks. Marie, Gunner, Rudy, Kenny, 400 AGL. That's a new one on me. Andrew, Daniel. Let's see who else was. Jerry was here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So I got to ask some quick feedback here. Number one, is this thing on? Okay. Persona Enhancement Pro. I'm new to your show, Tom. I've been binge watching. Oh, that's dangerous right there. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. But you're welcome. You're welcome. Been binge watching your past shows, try to learn something. Thanks for putting these live streams on. Well, you're in luck today, because today we are learning, beaucoup learning. Marie's here. Gabrielle's here. It's going to be, sounds great. Thank you, 400. Appreciate that. NWBC Live. Hello. Welcome. Fred, is that you? No, I'm just teasing. And Jan's here too. Okay. Didn't want to feel left out. So I got a couple questions for you up front. Need to get some good color today. Thank you. Yeah, I worked on that. It's something called white balance. I discovered it, but this is just the pre-show. The show will be worse. I guarantee it. Otis is here. Welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah, we got to get the show started. Today we start on time. The problem is I've got two clocks here. One of them says 2:01. One of them says 1:57. I'm on Central Time. So there you go. But the graphic, the picture of me that went with the live stream today was an app that I got in my phone, a free app, as a matter of fact, something called Cam Art, and I was pretty impressed with it. I thought it did pretty well. It had like maybe 12, 15 settings on it. This one was one called Paint. And it kind of is a Van Gogh kind of thing going on. So just wanted to see. Refreshing TV says, go with the 2:01. Let's get this show on the road. Okay. All right. Dan Slider is overrun by goats. Actually, he's probably overrun by snow. They got another snowstorm up that way, I think, last night or yesterday. Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. Yeah, they got pounded. Fortunately, we're down here in the South where the weather is warm. I have on short sleeves today, and it's a beautiful sunny day. It's probably 65 out there. You know, it's not hot. You wouldn't go to the beach today. Well, unless you were from Canada. All right. Jan single-handedly managed to take down 2 menus from Burger King. Okay. All right. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Oh, got it. So there's more to that than what the eye can see. Yeah. Let's make one quick adjustment here. There we go. That ought to do it. I think I can read that. And let's save it. Whenever you make a change to your preset, save it just in case, because you never know what the next minute will bring. 61 in Houston. Okay, there you go. All right. Today, you may or may not want a notepad. That's entirely up to you. But if you get one, you're going to not regret it. Let's see, what are we doing here? Position of the browser. Can we drag that back down? Yeah, somehow it got drug up. There we go. I feel better now. All right. Rudy says last week was 0 degrees Celsius. That would be 32 here. Now he's going to have 10, which is going to be, what's that, about 55 here. The simple guys here. Don't forget, today we're going to have a giveaway for a vMix update, $60 value, and you have to guess a number between 1 and 100 without going over. And I asked my wife Sandy last night, I said, give me a number between 1 and 100. She said 1. I said, you're not helpful. And then I explained to her why, and she said, oh, well, then you really want to pick something low like 1 so that most everybody goes over it. Well, I said, the idea is to not keep people from getting it. It's just to be fun. So I think Jan picked 56 last week, or was it 53? Maybe it was 52. Anyway, that's the story on that. We'll do that a little later on the show. Jan says, is there no way of recovering the Magewell HDMI USB 3 Gen 2 dongle from a firmware failure? Ooh, that's way above my pay grade, Jan. You're going to have to check in with the guys at Magewell on that one. But if you don't get good result, let me know, and I'll or even just if you send an email, CC me on it. That might help get it to the right person right off the bat. Cliff, how is the new bag of dum-dums? Well, I didn't buy it. I just held it up. But because I was hoping that my Ken Ricker with Spangler Candy Company will will come through for me with another bag of dum-dums. I've got just a very few left. It is, as you know, dum-dums are the official candy of Streaming Idiots. And we want to have some at the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB, so that was the deal there. So yeah, those were not from me. They want to RMA them. Yeah, that's what you got to do then, Jan. That's what you have to do. Okay, let's get this show going. I'm going to move over to the show set, and let's see. Let's put it this way. I'm hoping I'm moving over to the show set, and we will go from there. So we'll turn off this mic, and we'll turn on the other one. Okay, coming over. Well, let's see. Let's do one thing first. Let's go there. There we go. Now I can see. You just never know around this place. Okay, I had loaned out my PTZ Optics 30X NDI camera. Actually, I rented it out. Scott, good job. And it was fun. I've got it back in the studio here yet, but I haven't finished setting it up and resetting everything that was set for it. So we are on the Ada UHD 100 today as cameras. But let's get the show started. We'll talk a little bit about our setup, and then we'll get into the live video. And then we'll talk about, oh, I know what I wanted to get. Doggone it. Well, we'll just have to work it out. We'll have to work it out. You ready? Actually, Tom, are you ready? I think so. Let's try it. Here we go. Uh-oh, what's that on my forehead? Gee-many. Is my chroma key off? I think it is. Does that help? Nope. All right, well, we're burning a hole in my head, so hold on a second. Let's see if we can't fix the hole in my head. Any better? Nope. Maybe I've got oh, yeah. We got some wackiness going on, don't we? See how we do there. There we go. Color's a little off. We'll have to work on that. Cliff says it's worse. Yeah, it wasn't better. That's the problem with being a one-man studio and having a control desk over there, is it's really hard to do color. So if you've got some tricks on that, I'd love to hear them. So let's get this show on the road. We'll worry about my color later. Tom Sinclair. and this is Streaming Idiots. I'm sorry, it just, sometimes you just get tickled about things. And this is the Streaming Idiot Show, so we can be streaming and idiots and have some fun and play around and enjoy. All of you that are watching live, thank you so much. You really do honor me by coming and watching live and participating in the chat room, participating in the Streaming Idiots Facebook group. Would love to have you come join that group if you're not already a member, and would love to have you go to our Eastern Shore Broadcasting Facebook page and like us over there too. That really does help a lot when it comes to marketing, and that's part of the reason for this show is that it's one of the marketing efforts for our company here and all the great things that we're doing. Really excited about today's show, Stream Like an Idiot. I wanted to get a rendition of that that song. I think it's called Walk Like an Egyptian, and somehow fold that in, but I ran out of time and it probably would have gotten all sorts of copyright strikes anyway. So today we're going to do Stream Like an Idiot, and in honor of that, I thought I would come to you with this really strange coloration. No, that's just me being lazy and haven't taken time to get that camera adjusted the way it needs to be. It's a little tough when you're a one-man studio to get yourself on camera when all the adjustments are across the way, but we're working on it. Anyway, the idea behind today's show is we're going to say, how does the Streaming Idiots stream their show? Where do they stream it to? How do they set it up? What goes on behind the scenes? We can't show you everything that goes on behind the scenes because it's pretty awful, but some of it we can. And so I wanted to do some videos, actually did those this morning, that kind of just show what the prep is for setting up the show. And we stream 3 different destinations. We stream Facebook, the group Streaming Idiots, so you have to be a member of the group in order to see that. We stream Facebook Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, and anybody can watch that. We stream YouTube Eastern Shore Broadcasting channel, anybody can watch that. And we embed the YouTube feed in our WordPress website at easternshorebroadcasting.com, right there. So if you want to go watch us on the easternshorebroadcasting.com watch live page, you'll get in on the chat that is currently, at least today, we're pulling it from YouTube. And in the post-show, we've been playing around a little bit with vMix Social, and we'll talk more about that in post-show. But the idea behind the show today is that we want to show you those 4 things. We want to show you how we stream to the Streaming Idiots group, how we stream to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, both on Facebook, how we stream to YouTube, and then how we take the YouTube embed and put it in our website. So we're going to run a little long on time, so get an extra cup of coffee, get an extra dessert, Jan, and let's take a look. I think I've got everything right. You never know. Sometimes you leave out a step because you just do it all the time. But let's cue up the first video, and let's see if we can get it right the first time. Here we go. Okay, so let's set up the Streaming Idiots Facebook group to receive video. So the first thing we'll do is let's go to that group. There you go, Streaming Idiots Meetup NAB 2018. That was a great party. We have another great one coming up. And we'll go to the live video tab here. And that will bring up this page. And you can see it picked up my Logitech C920 as a camera, but we really don't want camera. What we want to do is connect, because we're going to schedule this for later. And so we're going to connect the live stream to the live API. We are going to use a stream key, and we're going to use a persistent stream key. And my persistent stream key is just out of sight right there, so you can't steal it. And I'm going to say it in the group Streaming Idiots, and I'm going to say something here as the comment for this post, because it ends up being a post, and then this is the title for the post. There we go. And then we're going to schedule it. And so when we schedule it, it gives us all these instructions right here that you can read, and then we can pick out a date in the future. I'm going to pick out February 14th, and we're going to take a time, and let's make that 10:20 in the morning. And I can change the image if I want to. You can see that sometimes I'll do that, and we'll put an image here, and we'll save that change. And so now this is the sample of the announcement. It says that Tom Sinclair plans to go live, that this is a test, and the title for the post is the title for the post, and it tells when, and shows our picture, and gives people a chance to say if they're interested. And then I can schedule it, and we'll go ahead and schedule it. And once it's scheduled, then this window eventually will disappear, and we'll come back to that window. Now, in vMix, we'll go back to vMix, and we want to set up it to receive the stream. And you say, oh, well, gosh, we forgot to save the URL and the stream key. Well, that's no problem. We can go back to this, and let's scroll down until we can, well, we may have to refresh this page. Let's refresh it. And there, oh, there it is. There it is. This is a test. And I don't know if you can see it right here, but it says broadcaster only. Edit your details. So I'm going to click edit my details. And I could have picked up all this information before. And here's my stream key down here. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to see it. It's a persistent stream key. And there it is. So we're going to copy it. It's copied. And we can just X out of this. We didn't change anything, so we don't have to save it. And we'll go back to vMix. And we can come back to the recording settings. And the destination is going to be a custom RTMP server. And the reason I say this is because this is what you have to do if you're streaming to more than one destination at a time with Facebook. And we're going to stream to Facebook and YouTube. So we'll put the, let's put the key in here. We copied it, now we're going to paste it, and then we can go back to our, edit our page here, and we'll copy the server URL, and we just X out of that, don't save, come back here to vMix, and we'll paste the URL in there. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to say, okay, well, the max that Facebook will take is 720p. We'll send them 2.5 because that's a good speed, and we'll use the hardware encoder. So we'll save and close. And then when it comes time to stream, we can stream there. Now, if we start streaming now, we're streaming ahead of time. Let me show you what happens. We'll start the stream, and vMix makes the connection. It turns red for the connection. And if we go over to Facebook and we go to edit, we'll give it a second, and it will preview what we're sending out. Are we sending out anything? No, let's go back to vMix, and we'll make that one live right there. There we go. So we'll go back to Facebook, and in just a second, maybe 30 seconds, it just depends on Facebook, it will go, there we go, it goes live, and obviously the lip sync is off because it's 30 seconds behind, but we can see that we're sending 1280 by 720, 2.75 megabits per second, 30 frames a second, and we're sending audio as well. And if we were, again, we've scheduled this one for the future, but if we wanted to start it now, we could come over here to manual start and start it right now. And sometimes when I'm doing my show, I'll schedule it for a time like 10 minutes before the hour or something like that to start the stream, and then the show will start on the hour. But then I'll get ready sooner, so I'll come in and hit the manual start button and go ahead and start it ahead of time. So that's that, and we'll X out of this because we don't want to do anything else with it at that point. And we'll come back to vMix, and we can stop the stream. And that is how you set up a streaming to a group in Facebook. How about that? Pretty cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. You know, and it's funny with all that kind of thing. You find the shortcuts, you find the easy path, but sometimes you don't always take the easiest path. You take the path that's the most familiar. So if you've got a better way or a tip for me, I'd love to hear it. You can shoot me an email, or you can, better yet, just go to easternshorebroadcasting.com, go to the contact page and say, Tom, you're an idiot. and show me what the better stuff is to do. Okay, so that's the streaming idiots part, and that's a group. Now remember, Facebook distinguishes between groups and pages. So let's talk about how we're going to stream to our page. Now this is, in my case, this is a page. I stream to my church's page on Sunday, and then I stream on Wednesdays to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, and this is how I do it. Okay, so now let's see how we can stream from vMix to our Facebook page. And in our case, the Facebook page is Eastern Shore Broadcasting. So let's bring up that page. There we go, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. That's the page. And pages and groups are different. In order to stream to a page, we come up here to Publishing Tools. And then we go to Videos, and then we go to Live, and then we have a page that looks like when we stream to groups. And it comes up with the Connect. And from here on out, it's the same, but let's go ahead and do it just to be fun. So we're going to add a title, and we're going to say this is A-S-U-P-E-R-T-I-T-L-E. That way we can really know. And then we're going to say something about it. We'll say this is a test post with video. How about that? All right. And we'll use persistent stream key, and we'll come back and pick up this key in just a second. But we want to go ahead and schedule it just like we did before, and we'll schedule it for a date in the future. We'll schedule it for a time in the future. And then we might upload an image, so we'll pick an image off our file here. Let's see, where's a good, well, we'll just use this one. There we go. And don't forget to save this change, because if we go to schedule right now, it won't save that. And by the way, if this were bigger than the space, we could drag it. We can't crop it, but we can drag it. So we're going to schedule it. And it is scheduled. There it is, right there. This little foggy face. And we'll go back to the page, and we can see that we have scheduled it. Let's scroll down a little bit. You have to scroll down. You have to scroll down a pretty good ways, because if this is your page, you get all this junk that appears at the top. That basically, there's our video, and we'll come on down to the actual post. And there it is. This is a test post. Oh, and for some reason, I must have forgotten to save. So it picked up our default image here, because this is a test post with video. Is the text we put in. This is a super title. So let's go back in and edit that. And we're going to edit the schedule. And yeah, there's the picture. So let's upload another image. And this time we'll make sure we save it, which we didn't do before. There we go. And we'll schedule it. And let's just refresh this page and see if it'll bring us right back to that one again without having to scroll all the way down to everything. And looks like it, oh no, let's see, we're going to have to scroll down. There we go. This is a test post with video. This is the super title. And remember, we can edit our details right here. So let's go back into vMix and get vMix ready. So we're going to go to Stream. We've got a demo in here. We've already done, this was our Facebook Streaming Idiots group text right there. And so we're going to go to channel number 2, and we're going to call it a custom RTMP server. And we're going to go back here, and we can pick up the same URL for Facebook because that's going to be a good one. And so we'll say custom, then we'll give it the URL. And now we have to go out and get a stream key. Well, we can go back to Facebook, edit our details, scroll down, copy our persistent stream key, and we don't even have to save. We can just abandon that in place. No, don't save. And back to vMix, and we'll cut and paste our stream key in there, save and close. And now in vMix, we can stream. Let's just stream to the second one right here, because I think we deleted the first one. So I right-click stream, or I can click the settings button and say start all, start 1. If I go to 2, it'll say start 2. So let's start number 2. It starts out yellow. It moves to red when it's streaming. We'll go back here to Facebook, and let's refresh this page. Oh no, we don't want to do that because it's not really live, because we scheduled it for tomorrow. But it will bring us back with our video here, and it tells us the same stats that we had before: 1280 by 720 resolution, 2.56 megabits per second bit rate, 30 frames a second, audio bit rate of 91.8, audio format AAC, and we could start it now if we wanted to. We didn't have to. In this case, we don't want to, so we're going to X out of it right here. We're not going to save it. We're going to go back to vMix, and we're going to stop number 2, and then we'll come back to Facebook, and we will delete this post so that nobody gets confused by it. So now in vMix, we have page number 2, which is our Facebook page, and stream number 1, which is our Facebook group. And they are now saved forever. And that's how you stream to a Facebook page. And in this case, we can stream to a Facebook group too. And that's how you stream to a Facebook page and a Facebook group. So far, are you with this, Dan? Are you taking notes? Are you paying attention? Tommy, behave. The reason that you have to use the custom RTMP, as I mentioned, is because Facebook won't let you use the Facebook API if you're streaming to another destination. And now we want to add a third destination to our live stream. Third destination to our live stream. You ready? Here we go. Okay, we have done 2 things already. We have set up a live stream to the Facebook group Streaming Idiots. We have set up a live stream to the Facebook page, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. And now we're going to set up a third stream in vMix that goes to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting channel on YouTube. And so we got Facebook, YouTube. And that's why we did the custom RTMP, is so we wouldn't violate the Facebook, or Facebook wouldn't let us stream to 3 destinations at the same time. So here in vMix, we're going to set up the streamer, but we're going to need to populate it with some information. So let's go to our Facebook Creator Studio, to YouTube Creator Studio. And I'm going to scroll down here to live streaming here on the left in the middle. And then I'm going to select events. And you can see I have one event scheduled for later today. That's probably the show you're watching live. So I'm going to create a new live event. And we're just going to call it New Live Event. There we go. And it's going to be not today, but we're going to make it for tomorrow. It's going to start at 1 o'clock, and it's going to end at 3 o'clock, so it'll be a 2-hour show. Here I've got all sorts of text that I use every week, so we're just going to erase all that because we don't want any of that stuff in there. I want to make sure that this is listed as public so that it'll go live. The type is custom, and so we'll get to that in just a second. And then I've got some tags down here. And then I'm going to create the event in the right corner, right there. Once I've created it, I can come in and do some more specific things with it.
For example, I can add a thumbnail. You know, we added a thumbnail to some of the others. You notice I've got two Tom Screams right here. We'll try you the first one. And YouTube doesn't like that because it's a PNG file. It says, hey, this is not an image, or it's too big, or we just don't understand. So we'll come back and do the PNG version of that file, PNG, and YouTube will take that just fine. All right, we're going to use a reusable stream key that I've set up in advance, and we're going to select that as the Streaming Idiots 1080p. We've got a stream name, a primary server URL, a backup server URL. Well, the stream name is the same thing as the stream key, and we'll get to that in vMix in just a second. The primary server URL is the main URL, and the backup server URL is actually kind of interesting. We'll do a video on that in the future. Basically, it's literally a backup, so if your primary goes down, your backup will work for you. So we're going to copy the, let's start out by copying the primary server URL, because we'll need that in vMix in just a second. Let's head over to vMix, and in fact, we'll go ahead and do that. Remember, our streamer is down here at the bottom. The gear icon is the settings button. So if we go into settings, we can see that our number 1 is the Facebook Streaming Idiots group. Our number 2 is the Facebook Eastern Shore Broadcasting page. And number 3, we're also going to set up as a custom RTMP server. And we're going to put in the URL that we just copied from YouTube. Now let's go back to YouTube, and we'll get the stream name, and we'll copy that and go back to vMix and put in the stream name or key. There we go. And we could use the same stream quality as the others, which is 720p at 2.5 megabits per second. Or what I like to do is to go up to, there it is, 1080p 4.5 megabits per second. I've got enough bandwidth to do that. So let's go ahead and save this one in vMix, and then we'll come back up here and let's save these changes in YouTube, and we'll go to the watch page. Nope, we don't need to go to the watch page yet. Sorry about that. We'll go to the live control room yet next. And it says, hey, we're not receiving any data. Well, that's because we're not sending any data. So let's go back over to vMix, and let's start stream number 3, which is our YouTube stream. And if we did it right, it'll go yellow, and then it'll go red. And then we can come back over to YouTube and say, oh, YouTube is already receiving data. That's great. So let's go ahead and preview it, and we'll scroll down to the preview window here. And let's see if we have a preview yet. An error occurred. Please try again later. Well, let's refresh this page and see what happens. Maybe we tried to preview a little too fast. We'll try again. There we go. We're okay there. We jumped the gun on the preview. So the preview's there. The public view is nothing. It just basically says you've got a stream come up in 24 hours because we haven't started streaming yet. If we were to click the start streaming button, we would indeed start streaming. Or it would start streaming at the time that we had appointed. And since we put in an ending time, it would stop at that ending time too. And that very simply is how you set up a live event in YouTube. Now, here at Eastern Shore Broadcasting for the Streaming Idiot Show, we do one more thing with the event because we want to take that event live stream and embed it in our website. So we'll teach you how to do that coming right up.
And coming right up. So you're going to have questions about some of this as we go along, and sometimes the YouTube stuff is a tad more confusing or less intuitive because it just basically it got built year after year, whereas the Facebook, they sort of built it all at once, and so they thought the process through all at once, or at least that's my analysis of it. So that's the streaming part. So this stream that you're watching today, that's exactly how we're watching this stream, how we're streaming today. We're going to Facebook, to the Streaming Idiots group, to Facebook, to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, and to YouTube, to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting channel. Now, why do we do 2 Facebooks? Great question. I think Troy had that question. The difference between the two is if you're in a group, you have to be a member of that group. So if I'm live streaming to the Streaming Idiots group, only members of that group can see that live stream. And so if I want, sometimes when I've done training, we've done a video that's been sent to a Facebook group that has the classification secret, a secret group. That is, you can't even search for it and find it. You have to be invited to it. The Streaming Idiots group, I'm not quite sure how people find that, but they do, and we get requests all the time for people to join. And so only people that are members of the Streaming Idiots group can see that group live stream and all the other interaction that goes on about that. The Eastern Shore Broadcasting page is a company page, just like our church page is a kind of a public page, which means anybody that has a Facebook account can see it, unless you misbehaved and been blocked from it, which you can do. But for the most part, anybody that wants to can go to the Facebook page and see that. From a marketing standpoint, the group is great because it's the people that you already know and already know you. The page is great because it kind of opens it up to anybody else that would come along that is a member of the page. In the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, the Facebook page, we can sell products. We can't sell products through Facebook in a group. We can talk about them, we can put links to them, but in the Facebook page, there's actually a way to sell products. And some of the products that are in our store at Eastern Shore Broadcasting are, not all, but some of them are on our Facebook page. Now, the YouTube is kind of a whole different creature. We like YouTube because of the archivability of it. Facebook is really our big gun so far as attracting an audience live. You get notices in Facebook whenever we say when we schedule a live show. You do that with YouTube too, but Facebook just seems to be much more responsive. And then as we're about to go live, it will send you a notice that, hey, they've just gone live or they're just about to go live, and give you a chance to watch. Again, YouTube does the same thing. It does it by email. It's just not as intuitive. It's not as smooth. And as a result, it doesn't get the live response. But if somebody is going to look for something to answer a question, how do I stream to Facebook, a group, and a page at the same time? They're probably going to find, if they do a Google inquiry, they're probably going to find a video from YouTube very highly ranked in the search results. And that's where we want to be. We want to be ranked in those search results. So when you're looking for something, you'll find our video. And a lot of people have said, yeah, Tom, we found your video, then we found your website, then we found your Facebook page, and we joined your group, and now we want to buy a PTZ Optics camera or whatever it is might be. Hey, is that an opportunity? That's an opportunity for an infomercial. So boom, there we go. We are delighted to represent outstanding companies. And the neat thing about it is we got to pick these people. Some of them approached us too, but a lot of people have approached us, and we haven't picked everybody. And I did write down the list this week. So we're representing vMix, love vMix. It's the glue that holds it all together. PTZ Optics, X Keys, Magewell, Yuan, Sportscast, Bird Dog, Ada, and if I missed somebody, I'm sorry. I did try to write it down this week. The idea is that we have a very limited offering, and we're going to intimately be familiar with all of those products so that when somebody has a question, it's not like calling Amazon to get the answer. You call me and you're going to get an answer. And if you don't get an answer, you're going to get an answer of when I can find you an answer. So, and a lot of times we're working with people on workflows. How do I get my PTZ Optics camera into vMix to do that? And oh, by the way, Tom, would you consider quoting us on a live streaming PC, which of course we do build. So that's the infomercial. And we're back. Oops, no, we went back to the infomercial again. That wasn't what we meant to do. So the last part of this puzzle, and we've kind of gone on long today, but let me give you this last part of the puzzle, because this is how we take think about the internet world as if it were real estate, and you own something. You own your web page. You don't really, but anyway, for the sake of the argument, you do. But you don't own your Facebook page. You don't own your YouTube page. You don't own your Facebook group. All of that can disappear tomorrow. And people have had that happen to them. Suddenly somebody makes a complaint and Facebook just shuts them down. YouTube just shuts them down. If you're streaming to Twitter or someplace like that, you know that you can get shut down. But your page is your real estate, your territory. And I want people to be attracted to come to Facebook and to come to YouTube, but ultimately I want them to come to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, because that's my turf. That's where my stuff is. That's where my store is. That's where a lot of videos are. All those kinds of things that are attractive and that my company wants to make people aware of, we have there, and we kind of have full control over it. At least we have the illusion of full control. So the idea is, how can we get all this live stuff into our into our website? We use WordPress just because it's path of least resistance, not the best website in the world, but it works for us. And on the Eastern Shore Broadcasting domain is a page that's called Watch Now. I think it's called Watch Live. And if you click Watch Live, you'll see this show right now. Yeah. And you'll see the chat room right below us. It's YouTube on the top, the video and audio, YouTube chat room on the bottom. Well, how did we get that into our website? How did we get all that stuff in there? It's easy, but it's not easy. I mean, and if you've never done it before, it's like, how in the world did you do that? So let's talk about how we did that.
Okay, so we have told vMix that we want to stream to a Facebook group, the Streaming Idiots group. We've told vMix we want to stream to a Facebook page, the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page. We've told vMix that we want to stream to YouTube, to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting channel. And now we want to take the information from that YouTube channel and we want to embed it in our website. So this video has nothing to do with vMix. Just is the way that I can talk to you and you can hear me. So let's go over to see. Here is the new live event that we just set up. Here is the page. This is a page that is today's live stream, and we want to replace this video portion with the video portion here, and we want to replace the chat portion down here with the chat from this. So let's go into the new live event. And there it is, and we're going to click the share button down here at the bottom, and we're going to click the embed button, and this is the text that we want right here. We want to click that and copy it so that we can go over here to our WordPress page. This is the page that shows this, and we want to change it. So we're going to go here. This text box is the text box that shows the video part. This text box is the text box that shows the chat part. So we'll just paint all this and delete it, and then right click paste, and we'll paste in. So now we have the video part, but I don't like the dimensions of 560 by 315. I want to change that here to 360, and here I want to change it to 640. So I have a widescreen 16 by 9 aspect ratio video that will be on that page. Now right down here below I have the chat, and that's already set up with the correct dimensions, but it's not set up with the correct stream. So what I need to do is to come up here to this one and pull the embed code out of it. And that's anything after the embed code, or excuse me, after the slash, but before the quote. So we'll copy that, and we'll come down here, and we'll come to that same structure. This is anything after the equal sign, but before the ampersand sign. So we'll put that key in right there, and we will update this page. Updating, and then we will view the page. And we see now that we have our new live event on the demo page with the chat room for that new live event. And of course we still have a different page that is the one for today's show, but we've taken that as a sample and we've put it in here. So we'll go back and you can see the text. And again, this text right here I had to steal. I don't remember where I got it, frankly, somewhere on the internet, but I'll post that in the comments below so that you've got it, so that you can cut and paste it. Of course, right here it's just video. So very simply, that's how I embed the YouTube video and audio feed and the chat in my website. And I leave it up for the next week until the next show, of course. And it means that anybody that goes to my website to click on the Watch Live tab sees the previous show. Whatever the most recent previous show is, they see the previous show and they have the benefit of the chat. It's kind of fun. So that's it. Have any questions? Let me know. Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com.
And if you have any questions, Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com. The idea is you want to control as much of the world as you possibly can. You want to be in a place where people can find you regularly. So I ask everybody to come regularly to my website, easternshorebroadcasting.com. I used to do it so you could get in on the chat. And that's when we used Chatwing, and then Chatwing just disappeared one day. They just went away, left us high and dry. So we have temporarily, we're experimenting with incorporating the YouTube chat, and that's why we did it the way we did it. And some of the best things some of the best inventions I've ever made, I've stolen from somebody else off the internet. So there you go. That's it. That's the whole plan. Stream it to 3 destinations, and then take in our case, the 3rd destination and embedding it in our website. I could have taken either of the other 2 destinations and embedded those in my website as well. At my church, we stream to the church's Facebook page, and we take that Facebook page and we embed it in the church's website. So anybody going to the church's website will find the feed. But we mostly get most of our views on the Facebook page, just the way it tends to work out. Lots of different stories behind that, and everybody's got their own way, and some of them work really well, and some of them work poorly, and some of them work astoundingly well. And of course, we all want to find what that fine tune is. Yes, you did see where I was telling you to save the date. Yeah, there it is up there. April 9th. That is the Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB. We hope you will come join us. It will be right after the show closes, and we know for sure that it will be at the PTZ Optics booth, which is C3326, right there in that blue circle in the middle of the screen to the left. That's in the central hall. And you'll want to get by there and make sure that you talk to the folks at PTZ Optics about their cool PTZ cameras, and then come back to Eastern Shore Broadcasting to get them. And yes, we will ship overseas with all the correct power connectors. And so we are always delighted to be able to do that kind of stuff. And I'm looking down here at my X Keys keyboard because I've got them all marked. Some of my keys are just numbers. I don't know if you can see the numbers running across there, but those numbers correspond to the numbers on my multi-view in front of me. So, and where they don't, I've got a little Post-it note up there to tell me, hey, push the red key and it'll do this. Push the blue key and it'll do that. And so what I've got is this button, which takes us to the vMix booth, which is in the South Hall, the lower South Hall. As you may recall, if you've visited NAB before, the lower South Hall is 2-tier. The front tier is higher than the back tier. and the vMix booth is just down the steps to the right side of the lower tier. And it's going to be a great location. It'll be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be hanging out there the whole time. So I hope you'll come join me and my cousin Martin and my brother Tim and Seth and Judith and all the other idiots that'll be showing up there. We'll be there Monday through Thursday. That's the 8th through the 11th at NAB. And then we'll be having the Streaming Idiots meetup on the 9th. That's Tuesday after the show at the PTZ Optics booth. And then on Wednesday during Streaming Idiots, we'll be showing the Streaming Idiots show live from the PTZ Optics booth. And a hat tip and kudos to Paul and Tess for doing that. We're actually building them a monster PC, an i9 Obsidian build for their 4K. And, did I say 4K and PTZ in the same sentence? I'm under an NDA. I'm going to get slapped. No, they don't have anything in the roadmap for 4K PTZ cameras. No, they don't. No, they don't. And if you heard that from anywhere, you didn't hear it from me. I'm building them a 4K PC for their PTZ cameras that do 1080p currently. So let's just leave it there. Boy, did I dig myself a hole on that one. You got some splaining to do there, Thomas. So, but you can come see that PC at the PTZ Optics booth at NAB, and you can do it at the NAB Streaming Idiots meetup that night. And I also want to give a shout out to folks, and we're confirming them as they come in, but to Dan Slider and the folks at X Keys for providing us an X Keys of some type to give away during the meetup. And there'll be other giveaways, goodies there too. But that brings us to the point in the show where it's time for us to give something away. Yes, that's right. Last week we decided that we are going to be giving away. Do you remember the giveaway for today? Call all your friends and tell them tune in live right now because it's time for the giveaway. Yes, it's not that big a deal. We are giving away a free update to vMix 22. You remember vMix is now enforcing their policy that they've had all along of charging for updates, $60 a year if you want to get to the latest, greatest update of vMix. That doesn't mean you can move up a level. It just means you move up a number. So if you've got vMix 21 or if you've got vMix 15, enter our contest right now in the chat in YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, you need to get over to YouTube or else come over to our website at easternshorebroadcasting.com because that's where the chat is also. And you can get in there right now and enter the contest. How do you enter the contest? I'm glad you asked. Somebody was asking me on the chat. Said, are you sure, Tom? Is that how you get into it? The contest today is I have a number, and I have written it down on my pad right here. I was going to write it down on a piece of paper and put it in my pocket, but I don't have pockets in this shirt, and I forgot to do it anyway. So I have written down a number between 1 and 100, and it includes 1 and it includes 100. So any number including 1 and 100, anything in between, will win this prize. But the trick is you can't go over. If the number is 12 and you pick 13, you're disqualified. And if somebody picks 2, even though your 13 was closer to 12, you're out because you went over. The person that picked 2 has got it. So now is the time. Enter your numbers and put them in chat right now. You've got a few minutes to do that, and then we'll draw a prize. Well, actually, I already know the number. We'll just see if it's your number. We'll do that in the post show because then I can read the chat better and see who might have guessed the number before I reveal the number. So do that now. A number between 1 and 100. There's no obligations. You don't have to buy anything. And actually, somebody was asking me, yes, you can use the value of the update, which is $60 US. You can use the value of the update towards a purchase. So if you want to take that $60 and you want to apply it towards upgrading your license to the next higher edition, say maybe you have the HD and you want to go to the 4K and you want a little help getting there, we can do that. If you want to take the $60 and put it towards purchase of an X Keys, we can do that too. So that's your choice. And last week's winner never did check in with me about getting their getting their free updates. So if you're out there, don't forget, send me an email or just go to the contact form at easternshorebroadcasting.com, and you will, and I'll get back to you on how to do that. So I see numbers are rolling in. Oh, lots of good numbers. Oh, somebody guessed 22. I almost picked 22 because of vMix 22, of course. But there is another giveaway next week, so maybe next week will be the time we do 22. Could have picked 60, which is the value of the gift. I see somebody's guessed that. That's a good guess, too. Could have picked my age, 39. Anyway, okay, so don't forget, Streaming Idiots Meetup at NAB, April 9th. Oh, one other thing here. Let's see. Can we get this thing? Will this pull in as a lower third? Ooh, it won't. How did I do that as a lower third before? Oh, well. You'll just have to, I tell you what, I'll just pop it up on the screen. If you want a free show pass to vMix, to NAB, here's the show pass. vMix is, if you will enter the number LV8835, when you register for the NAB show, you'll get a free pass. Now, I think this free pass expires sometimes, and it is soon, and it becomes a discounted pass. So if you think you want it, go ahead and grab it, and if you don't use it, you can send it to somebody else. And I know PTZ Optics has got free pass giveaways too. I just don't know their number, and I'll share that with you next week. So we're going to breathe. We're going to close out the show. Thank you for watching. If you're watching live and you want to hang around for the drawing, or even if you're not watching live, you can hang around for the drawing because it's all one giant stream. We just have this middle section as the show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Streaming Idiots in the post-show. The post-show. And here we are in the post show. There we go. All right. So I got to get the number. It was on a piece of paper across the room. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. I've written it down right there. I'm not going to let you see it yet. I just want to see who's guessed. Who has guessed? Who has guessed? And if you guess more than once, and we don't take fractions, who was taking a fraction? Let's see. All right, so Otis guessed 4K. No, Otis, it's just numbers, not numbers and letters. Daniel got 22, Scott got 4, Ryan got 41, Finley got 42, 59, 52, 62, 60, 50, 43, 63. That was my age. That doesn't count. 81, 1, says Byron. He's playing the odds. Don says 37. MSI says 78. Jan says 54 because he told us that last week. 56 is Gunner. Troy is 23. Otis thinks the number is 4K PTZ Optics. Dan Slider wants to put pi. I should have made clear that these are whole numbers. Marie says 29 her age. Rick doesn't listen to directions. He said 120. Yeah, Ryan says your age. Ha, ha, ha. Funny, funny, funny. You're going to be sitting outside one of these days and want to get in, and I'm not going to let you. Walter says 13. Life Media Pro says 57. Who else? Scott's copying Dan. I look 29. Thank you, Dan. Tommy says 46. QV live streaming says 59. PA Pence says 42. Rion Gadget Smith says 21. Clint says 43. Okay, now I've got the number here, and I think we have a winner right on the nose. Let me look back through the numbers. And if you haven't put a number in, if you're just joining us, this is a giveaway for a free vMix update, $60 value, not incredible. We're not PTZ Optics. A number between 1 and 100, a whole number, and you have to guess the number or not go over. So if the number were 22 and you guessed 23, you would be out, and the person that guessed 4 would be the one to get the number. That's just the rules. You don't have to like them. That's the rules. All right, so let's see. Marie says 16. Eric says 8. I'll give you just another couple of seconds. And this is a number that Sandy, my wife, guessed last night. So let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Scott's original number was 4. Well, Scott, that wasn't either one wasn't right. The winner is, can you see that? Oh, I can't focus it. Where is it? Oh no, all that hard work and you can't see the number. Can you see it now? There it is, 46. Yes, Tommy Willis is the winner. Tommy Willis is the winner. Check, check, check. What about audio? Is that what I get when I move too close to the mic? Oh, well. Okay. So there we go. Tommy, congratulations. And if you will send me by email your vMix license key, I will get it updated to the next license number, which would be vMix 22. Or if you don't have an interest in vMix 22 and you want to apply that to another purchase, we can do that. Or if you want to give that away to a friend that wants to update theirs, you can do that too. So there you go. You've got all sorts of possibilities there. 46 it is. Congratulations to Tommy. There you go. All right. Very, very, very good. And yeah, Tommy's a winner. That's right. And we'll do this again next week. So we've got Tommy Willis. There you go. There you go. All right. So did anybody have any lingering questions from the videos about Facebook and YouTube and some folks posted some URLs that apparently Facebook doesn't automatically allow to come through, and I've just approved those. So if you want to scroll back through, if I know Rudy had posted some URLs and Gabriel had posted one. There you go. So let's see. I'm looking back through the questions to see if there are any questions on that. Yes, Jeff, it was pre-recorded. I used Camtasia to blur out the stream key. Didn't do that in the last couple of times. Not that anybody's copied anything, but you know, Marie might have. Let's see. How do I stream to Facebook and send it to my website using WordPress? Tommy, let's see if I can get access to the WordPress plugin that I use. I'll tell you that the website for our church is visitgrace.net, and I'm going to sign in to the WordPress part of it and see if I can't pull out the name of the plugin. That is what we use for the embed. The nice thing about the embed that we're using at the church, it's for a Facebook page, and it embeds the plugin. Yeah, let's see if it's there. It embeds the live feed when it's live, and when it's not live, it embeds the last 3 recordings of the live feed, the last 3 replay. Okay, it's called Facebook Live Video Auto Embed. And let's see if I can get a URL for you guys on the website. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And this is for Facebook embedding in WordPress. All right. Reading through the questions you guys had here. Gunnar says you make a frame in a website. Exactly. NWBC says we stream to a player in a WordPress page and our second stream to Facebook. There you go. To stream to that player, you probably have to have a CDN of some kind. Troy says, I recommend the watch live turn red or blink when you're live or just change the font color. Oh, man, that'd be cool. You tell me how to do it. Dave Edwards says, audio video sync is off today. Thank you, Dave. I'll have to go back and look at the recording, see what happened. Rudy says, did you see my answer for Facebook? Tommy. Cliff says, how do you think LinkedIn Live will play in the mix when going to multiple platforms? I think it'll be a minor platform for most people. X-Keys booth is within spitting distance of the vMix booth. Well, sounds like a contest for sure there. Otis says 4K. Are you sure, Tom? Otis, you didn't hear that from me. Rudy says the last post I see is from your granddaddy. Da, 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 da. And Byron has posted to YouTube a Shrek donkey pick me. Okay. Some children never grow up. And now I'm just catching up on this right here. Let's see. What are we thinking here? Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Can we try this? I don't know if we can try this or not. Let's go. What can we do? We can, hold on a second. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Just be patient. You guys are the most impatient. I'm teasing. Y'all are very patient. Okay, we got that. And so we want to do this, and then we're going to do this below it, right? And there we go. We finally decided to learn vMix Social. And so the idea is that I get to take your questions now. And let me move me a little over to the side. There we go. And I can answer them. So, Rick, basically, you need to go back and watch all the videos because we went through it. But basically, vMix will allow you to stream 3 different destinations at the same time, and they can be Facebook and YouTube as 2 of them. And in my case, I streamed to 2 different Facebooks and 1 YouTube at the same time. So there we go. Let's see what the next one is. And look at that. It decided to not cooperate. Look at there. Can't get rid of that one. So, why is this messing up? You would think something like, we'll try it there. Look, just going crazy it is. I wonder if it's because I don't have enough memory left for my GPU, and so it's not cooperating. Let's try that one. Nope. Isn't that funny? Not cooperating. Oh well. So much for that little thing. We'll have to play with that some more later. I have a minimalist approach here. It's a GeForce GTX 750 with 1 gigabyte of RAM. So that's not much. We're going to have to upgrade that rascal. Dan had to go, but he thought it was a good show, so we're delighted about that, and we're delighted that we're within spitting distance. Bum, 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 bum. 46, where are we? All right. So yeah, don't forget to tune into the vMix Funtime live show, which is coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern this evening. Dave. Rick has a persistent stream question. I love that. I love that. That is too funny. Too funny. Too funny. Thank you. That tickles me. Dave, you're good for it. Dave, I hope you're coming to NAB. Holy cow. Of course you are. You already said you would. Mike says, can you check what your current memory usage is? Yes. In vMix, my GPU mem is 100%, which basically means that I'm using 100% of my 1 gigabyte of memory on my card. There you go. Jaybird, glad to have you. Rick Manny says, great show. See you when you get to Vegas. Absolutely. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Other questions about streaming to Facebook, YouTube, or any combination thereof, or what else would there be? Let me put myself back in the center there since I've made adjustments to all that. Do you have questions on those kinds of subjects? Let's see. Al Bunt is here. All right. Hey, Al. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Al and I go way back. I mean, way back. You've got to dust it off. It goes so far back. We go back to like the 1.0 days of VidBlaster. Holy cow. Jerry's chiming in again. All right. Yeah, I had hoped to get the vMix Social going, and I played with it before, but apparently I didn't play with it enough, or maybe something changed. Who knows? Who knows? Things always change. Things change even when you don't think they're changing. Otis says, fun time live shows on the wrong day. I'll have to miss Bible study or skip classes. Ooh. Well, don't do that. You just have to catch it on replay. The downside is that vMix does not record and post to YouTube the pre-show and post-show. They just post the show. So you have to show up live to get the banter and to get the post-show Q&A, which always, that's where the good stuff is. That's where the good stuff is. All right, so I've worn you guys out. I've worn you out, I can tell. And I've worn me out in the process. So unless you have a question that you think I can help with, I have a question. How can I do color correction on myself 15 feet over there when my setup is right here? How can I do that? I guess I could drag a keyboard and a mouse over there. Actually, I'd probably only need a mouse. Never mind. I think I answered my own question. Kenny says, following up on last week, ensure you get an NA pass for any guest you bring to the Streaming Idiots party. Thank you, Kenny. That's right. You're going to need a pass to get into the Streaming Idiots party. I didn't think about that, Kenny. Doggone it. That was short-sighted of me. So if you're in Las Vegas and you're not going to NAB and you want to come to the party, you need to get a pass. Good mention, Kenny, and I'll try to make mention of that again and any other communication that I have on that. Kenny and Dave are going to be doing some interviews during the course of the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB like we did last year. And we will try to figure out who they're going to interview. But the idea is that we're not just going to show the party just unencumbered, because there may be some private conversations or people that don't want to be on live stream. So we're going to try to focus the live stream on interviews and bring in lots of folks on the interviews. I think the interview station at the PTC Optics booth will be a little different than last year. Last year they had a couch and some chairs, and I think this year they're doing sort of a countertop. So I don't know whether you're sitting on stools behind it or whether it's just sort of a walk-up kind of thing. But that will be that, and I appreciate Kenny and Dave volunteering for that job. Otis says, so will that new 4K camera be NDI? Otis, I know not of what you speak. You're just trying to get me in trouble. Cliff says, what camera are you using? I'm using an Ada UHD 100, which is a 4K HDMI camera with a manual zoom lens and a manual focus lens. It's coming in through a, how is it coming in? It's coming in through a Blackmagic DeckLink mini recorder 4K PCIe card. Kenny says, Dave, did you have time to check our contract? Gerald says, did you answer your own question, Tom? Well, it is hard to say. I could have, but I might not have. So it all depends on what question I asked. Do I have, that question. Do I have a remote for it? No, I don't have a remote for the camera. And what I need to do, as you can tell, is I need to do some color balancing, auto white balance, all that kind of stuff. I need to set the camera up. And I've always kind of put that off until right before showtime and then said, oh, let me go over there and see what I can do, and then I never get a chance to finish it. So don't do as I do. Do as I say. I'm the idiot. So that's the question that I'm trying to answer. So maybe I can take a mouse on an extension cable over there and do that. That's a good idea. Thank you for spurring that idea on, Gerald. Rick says, is the party not going to be at Scott Whitney studio, but at the PTZ booth? That is correct. That is correct. Tamaz Tarsi has just been expelled from this group. I don't know what that means, but it's just not appropriate. Jerry says, Tom, do you have to update the info in your website each week, or does YouTube change it for you? Oh, Jerry, that's a really great question. Since I'm doing an event, I'm using the YouTube event function. I have to update my website each week because it's a unique event. Prior to doing the event function, I streamed to YouTube with the same key each week, and I did not have to change any of the embeds on my website for it to be appropriate. But what I realized was I really did want to, this came about when I started using the chat. Well, no, I was streaming an event before that. I know what it was. I wanted on YouTube to have some advance notice of the show. I was just trying to get some more advanced publicity, I guess, if you will, about the show. Good question. Nicholas Craig is here. Hello, Nick. Otis says, can we get a shot of the Studio Ada camera setup? You're talking about the camera itself or of the settings in vMix? Rick Manny says, keep up the good work. Got to go. Many thanks. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. Loved meeting you in Atlanta. By the way, I forgot to mention this. If anybody's going to be in the Atlanta area on March 30th, and wants to drop by the Atlanta Airport Hilton Hotel, I will be in the lobby or the bar or someplace at 8 o'clock that evening hanging out, and I'd love to come hang out with you. Gerald Griffith has got me working with him on his VoiceOver Atlanta conference that starts on Thursday. We'll be there till Sunday. I'm doing the live stream for him. And I thought, well, Saturday night, I'm not, once I'm done with the live stream, I'm done, but I don't have wheels. So would love to have you guys, if you're in the Atlanta area, pop in and let's hang out. All right. Otis says the camera itself. Yeah. Okay. Nick was thinking about coming. Oh, that'd be great. All right, Otis, hold on. Let me set up a camera on the camera. Okay. Is this going to work? Camera on the camera. A good old webcam you can put anywhere. Just a matter of seeing if we got a place for it. Add input. And it's a camera, and it's the second webcam. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that is it. And let me zoom in a little bit on that one. This is a digital zoom. And that is the camera right in the middle. As you can tell, there's really not much to it. You can see a big old hauncher HDMI cable coming out of the back. If you look closely, you can see the Ada decal on the side. That little box thing is the camera. The round thing to the right of the box thing is the lens. I actually borrowed that lens from one of my PTZ Optics cameras, the ZVL cam. It's a variable zoom. I think it goes from 4 millimeters to 12 millimeters, and I'm not sure where it's set. It's variable, so unless it's got some decals on it, it's hard to say. Anyway, that's the cam, and it has. I'm sure it has some sort of web interface that allows you to go in with, what is it, RS-485 or something like that, and adjust settings in the camera itself. But I haven't done that. I've just set it up and pointed it at the chair and are trying to do all the color balancing and what in vMix. Mike says, what's the maximum length you can run an HDMI cable? HDMI, pure HDMI, and not, converted to something else. I've heard of people going up to 50 feet, Mike. I don't know that I would want to do that for something that was important. And I'm becoming less and less of a fan of HDMI as a professional broadcast connection, simply because it's not a locking connector. And if I plug and unplug it enough times, especially with my little teeny Canons, that little mini HDMI connector would break loose from the little motherboard inside the Canon, inside the camera. So I haven't been a fan of those. Backstory says, I hope to use that camera with the new Magewell Pro Convert 4K to NDI device. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I was just contacting Magewell this morning about trying to get a copy of that Pro Convert 4K to NDI. Otis says, great, small form factor, so it's NDI. No, it is, what would you call it? I would call it HDMI. HDMI output, that's all. Now they have another version of that camera. That's the UHD 100. I think the UHD 200 is 4K SDI, which would be a little better, but it's more money. Dave says, until there is no video, really depends on the cable. Yeah, it really does depend on the cable. Ed says, you look better, Tom. Well, thank you, Ed. I'll take a compliment no matter where it comes from. Nick says, HDMI is a reel in the butt. Yeah, it is. It is. It's like RCA versus XLR. That's a good comparison. That's coming from an audio guy right there. Mike says, so you would use an adapter to convert the HDMI to SDI. Depending on the circumstances, Mike, I might use an adapter like a Bird Dog Mini to adapt the HDMI to NDI, and then I'm just running Ethernet. And it's true NDI, so true NDI has got the same latency virtually as SDI, which means I don't have to have an SDI capture card on the other end. I just have it plugged into my network. Otis says, thanks, Tom. Well, you're welcome, Otis. So, and a lot of it depends on budget too. The Mini is $600. An HDMI to SDI converter is $60. But, then there's a SDI capture on the other end, but that might be $200. So it just depends. It depends on what you're going to do. Dave Edwards says, when was the last time you had a reel in the butt? That would be, don't understand the question, so not going to answer it. You're not trapping me with your trap questions. I'm wise to your tricks. Wise to your tricks. Okay. Who was it? Somebody said that my audio was low. Let's pull up the mixer here and just take a look. The problem is when I get excited, I guess I could put compression on there, but when I get excited, even when I'm excited, hey, it still doesn't go to the yellows. It may be because I already have some compression on it. Let's see. Let's look in here. Compressor, nope, don't have any compression on it. Don't have any EQ on this mic. Have the NS1 Waves VST3 plug-in. Don't have noise gate. But wow, I've got 18 decibels of gain on this mic right now. How many decibels of gain do I have on the other one? 0. Yeah. And I've got EQ. I don't have any compression on that one. No noise gate. Okay. Audio is a real. It's an enigma to me. But at the same time, it's a challenge. It's a lot of fun. Tommy says, I run HDMI to SDI and back to HDMI to the monitor in the church. Well, there you go. That's one way to get over the distance problem without I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Without finishing your sentence, that's right. Rabbi in Nigeria says, can you run HDMI cable up to 150 feet? Probably not. Probably not. You're probably going to have to convert it to SDI or to fiber or to Ethernet and then convert it back. It just depends on what your use is and what your budget is and what your tolerance is. Ed says they use the decimators, but he hates the menus. Mike says, Tom, when you mention you run HDMI to SDI and back, oh, that's Tommy. And then using HDMI capture card of the PC. Tommy says audio's good. Mike says Tom Willis. Well, now you say Tom Willis. Audio is not important. Audio is grossly overrated. How about that for an updated twist on that same old Mike Phillips statement about audio not important? Audio is grossly overrated. The importance of audio is greatly overestimated. Jeremy says the HDMI to Ethernet and back is what we use at our church for monitors. This is very affordable. It is. It is very affordable. And if it's in a place where latency is not an issue, it's great. I have a customer here in the Fairhope area, a church that wants to do, has done overflow to their fellowship hall. And so they just ran Ethernet from the back of the church to the fellowship hall. I'd say it was probably 150 feet, maybe. And they have an HDMI to Ethernet converter at the laptop in the church, and then a Ethernet to HDMI converter on the other end, and then it goes HDMI to a big screen TV. It's a good setup, but there is latency. You know, there's probably half a second of latency, maybe more. I mean, it never would work in a side-by-side situation or an iMac situation. But the fact that it's down the hall a long ways away means that nobody knows that they're a half a second behind. Right. Okay, let's see. What are we looking for here? Nope, didn't mean to do that. That's what I meant to do. Let's do that. And we'll go there. And we'll do one other thing here as we figure out what to do. And then we'll do that. And well, let's go there. Okay, well, there you go. Let's go full screen with that. Bear with me just a second. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. All right. All right. And NWBC says we run HDMI to Cat 6 to HDMI for your projectors. Really? Wow. And that's in the same room? That must be some sort of super cool converter that is not adding any latency. That's pretty amazing. Otis says, so the latency on SDI and NDI are the same. They are virtually indistinguishable, Otis. Now, this is NDI, not NDI-HX. NDI-HX puts in probably about 4 or 5 frames of latency. I think 150 milliseconds of latency with NDI-HX. But full NDI, sometimes people say NDI and they really mean NDI-HX. So we need to qualify and say full NDI has the equivalent latency to SDI. Tons of people have made the tests. Rabbi Nigeria says, Tom, can NVIDIA GTX 1060i graphics card handle 4K in vMix? Possibly, but it wouldn't be recommended. vMix recommends the 1080 Ti card for 4K. So you might be able to make it work, but it probably will have some hiccups somewhere, some latency or some freezing or some video artifacts or something like that. I mean, in a jam, you probably could make it to work, but I wouldn't want to use it every day like that, especially if I had a choice. Daniel Wright says, we use an Oceans Matrix HDMI to Ethernet adapter to run video to our fellowship hall about 200 feet. There you go. But I want to hear from NWBC, I think that's Dave, the other Dave, about the fact that he's running it HDMI to Cat 6 to HDMI for his projectors. And I'm assuming it's iMag. They're in the same venue. Gunnar says he's got a 1050 Ti on his laptop that'll do 4K. Yeah, I mean, I've got a 960 on my a 970 on my laptop, and it'll do 4K, but it's not the vMix recommendation. Of course, the 960 is close to the 980, which is equivalent to the 1080 almost. Andrew says 1070s and 1080s are getting hard to find here. Really? Why? They're just not shipping them down there? I mean, yeah, we were having problems with that here. I remember last year I was building a Obsidian for vMix for the NAB. They wanted a big 4K machine there, and we paid over $2,000 for a 1080 Ti. And they're down to, 75% of that now. So, 1,500, little plus, little minus, depending on what you get and what it has and what you're shopping for. But Gunner's got a 1050 Ti on his laptop that he does 4K. It really is all about the CUDA cores. That's what Martin Sinclair had said one time, the CUDA cores. Oh, Andrew says that the 20XX series is what's being marketed. Yeah, and the extra bucks, but again, Martin Sinclair says there's not extra value for us in those extra bucks. Tommy says I use IP cams to the computer, an HDMI computer to the SDI adapter, and then SDI about 90 feet to an HDMI adapter to the monitor. Oh, excuse me. And what's the latency after all that, Tommy? Like a week? Gunner had to wait 2 months for a 1080i. Excuse me, a 1070i. Tommy, sorry for the delay. He got called away. I get it. He got called away. It was a delay. MSI Digital, the 1080 Ti is officially discontinued. Really? Wow. I did not know that. I better go buy up a bunch of them. And the 20, I think you mean the 2080 Ti is cheaper now. It wasn't the case here 2 months ago. All right. And WBC said, no, it's not iMag. It's for all our hymns, verses, and PowerPoints and such. And we use a Blackberry HDMI matrix. So it's not like showing a picture of the preacher and the lip sync is off. You know, if the image of the lyrics or the hymns, the verses are, 300 milliseconds delayed, nobody's going to know. Got it. Tommy has a 1050 Ti in his studio desktop and loves it. And Tommy says, no problems with latency since we don't put the cams on the monitor. Well, there you go. I'm worried about, that situation where all of a sudden somebody decides, let's put the pastor on there. Let's put the priest on there, the minister on there, the bishop, so that we can see him better. And then all of a sudden, it's a Chinese movie. They don't need to see the preacher since he's standing right in front of them. Well, there you go. Well, they don't need to see the words because they're right there in a book in front of them, Tommy. I mean, it's all about technology and advancement. The Gutenberg Bible was just an amazing breakthrough because prior to that, Bibles had been written by hand, copied by hand. Nick says, I use a 1070 for gaming and vMix works great. Yep, I'm with you. I'm using a 750 here, and I think on that machine I've got a, what is it? A 960. So I'm dividing and conquering because I've got such inexpensive equipment. Simple guy. He's got to run. Don't want to be late for church, but the post show is very educational. The post show is always the best. The post show is always the best. Tommy Willis says, good point. Point for me. There you go. All right. Dave says, per vMix, NVIDIA 960, 1060 will do 2 4K or HHD cameras. Really? Thank you, Dave. Rabbi Nigeria, did you catch that? Dave says that the 1060 will do 2 4K cameras plus instant replay. Wow. Otis says it was cheaper to purchase desktop with a 1080 Ti than just the card. Nick says, what happened to one man, one computer? Well, what did happen to that? I think I was dazzled, I was intrigued, I was enticed by technology that says diversify. Stream on this computer and produce on this computer, record on this computer and do this on that computer. And you can have multiple computers and your life will be easier. The one benefit, well, there are multiple benefits, but the one benefit that I like the most is if I have problems with my production PC, and it happened, last week or the week before in pre-show, the PC locked up or did something. And so I put up a notice on the streaming PC that said, we were having a technical difficulty, we'll be right back, and rebooted this PC. If I'd have been one man, one PC, you guys would have been left wondering, wow, where'd he go? And if the streaming PC were to go down, I can immediately stream from this one. It's a little tighter in terms of resources. Actually, Tommy Willis is right. NDI happened. I think I was using vMix desktop capture before NDI, but it was really NDI that convinced me, and NDI is just the bomb. Yeah, And the other thing, Nick, is that I wanted to have a lot of experience with as much experience as I could get with kind of this diversified scheme where different computers have different jobs. Yep. Dave Edwards says, older man and older computer happened. Jeez. Somebody wrote it on one of my YouTube videos the other day, something about the old man. Like, geez, how can I be an old man? I'm only 20 on the inside. Video Pepper, welcome. NDI is great. We're having a bit of a problem with it now. It seems to force to close vMix to close after a while of streaming with no problem. Really? Huh. I'm sorry to hear that. Perhaps you can share more or come on into the Streaming Idiots Facebook group and share, and maybe we can help you find out what the deal is. Ed says, always have a plan B. Absolutely. And the plan C doesn't hurt either. Michael's here. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Oh, so this is cliche time in the show. I love it. What kind of cliche can I come up with? Don't leave your eggs in one, put all your eggs in one basket. Always have a plan B. It's better to be safe than sorry. Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. How am I doing? I've got a bunch of these. People are down on what they're not up on. No, that doesn't have anything to do with this one, but that's one of my favorites. All right. Tommy says, I sent the email. Do you need any info on my present license? Yes, I need your license key. Otherwise, whose license am I going to update? All right. Oh, Video Peppers Guido, by the way. All right, good. Well, yes, definitely post in there, Guido. That'd be good. That'd be good. So how did you guys put those emojis in? Is that, I guess it's just built into YouTube, huh? We can do an emoji, a cool emoji. Got it. Got it. There we go. Dave says, a wet bird never flies at night. Ah. How about all cats are black in the dark? Deep, I know. Very deep, very deep. All right. Gadget Guru says, any idea on when the RTX 20X series is going to be supported? I assume you mean by vMix. And the answer is, it is already supported, but the last I heard, and the vMix Funtime live show is tonight, so Martin Sinclair, my cuz, may have some more. I just call him cuz, I call him cuz. We are probably cousins, and I'm a name dropper from way back. But the RTX 20X, Martin says there isn't anything in it for streamers. There might be a lot of stuff in it for gamers, but there's nothing new in it for streamers that really makes it worth spending extra bucks on. And that's when the 20X was cheaper than the 10X. When the 10X was cheaper than the 20X. It seems that maybe it's going the other way now that they're not manufacturing any 10X cards. As those cards kind of get used up in the channels, then we might see more and more people using the 20Xs, and maybe he'll find some hidden feature in there. But right now, it's as supported as it's going to be. Nicholas Craig says, Tom, are you pumped? Are you pumped to NAB? I am pumped to NAB. Definitely pumped to NAB. It is a real treat and an honor to be invited. Michael Graves, very interested in Facebook discussion today about laptop Thunderbolt enclosures versus desktop and capture card. That would be in the Streaming Idiots group or others. Let us know, because that's definitely worth a read. Tommy says, if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you do is to stop digging. Ooh, got it. Got it. Gadget Guru got my cuz. Thank you very much. Look at all these emojis down here. I mean, there's an emoji for me. And there's an emoji for Tommy. And What other emojis are there here? There's another emoji for me. Okay, the vMix training group, vMix user and training group. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, if y'all aren't members of the vMix user and training group on Facebook, you need to take a look at it. Back to work. Let's take care, Nick. It's good seeing you. Would love to hang out with you in Atlanta. That would be a treat. That is March 30th. Impromptu hangout in Atlanta. Well, there you go. Boy, this emoji thing is just could be very fruitful. All right, let's see. Well, I think I might have to leave. I have to go bolt. Yeah, y'all probably see that before you hear it. So when I flash the bolt on there, y'all are like, what is that bolt for? And then 30 seconds later, you hear that I'm bolting. Oh, Dave is cautioning. I like it. Well, I'm going to give Dave a medal for today. And Gunnar is flying off. Yep. I like this. We could just communicate by emojis. You know, would that be on target? Would that be the best way to look at it? You know, somebody's got to do all the heavy lifting. Too funny. Too funny. I mean, look, these things just go on and on and on and on and on forever. Holy cow. I mean, wow. Look what time it is. Holy cow. Gotta go. Yeah, I do gotta go, though. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Loved it. Love hanging out with y'all. Let's do it again sometime really soon. And we can, yeah. So come to Las Vegas. Come to Atlanta. It'll be real. It'll be fun. It might not be real fun, but yeah, it will be. All right. I'm going to let the stream run out at this point, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.